When you guys were all throughout this process, were there any, do you have any like favorite moments that you can recall, or just really exciting bits that, uh, or maybe like interviews? I know you said you didn't do a handful of the interviews, but any that you were involved with, like, were
Yeah.
there any favorite moments or standout moments that you can think of from any of that?
A couple of little things, and just, I did like I said, I did a number of interviews on the originals, but the new ones is like, I'm all over them. You know, there are two moments that really, for some reason, stand out in my mind. One is, and it's not necessarily from an interview, but when we sent the manuscript to Charlton Heston, and he was writing the forward, but he wanted to see what we had. So I got a phone call at work, and I wasn't expecting it. It came out of the blue, and this voice on the other end goes, Mr. Gross, this is Charlton Heston. I'd like to talk to you about your manuscript. And I was like, so I'm sitting there going, oh my God, Charlton Heston's on the phone with me. Even though I'm like already, been a journalist for years, it didn't matter. Charlton Heston was on the phone wanting to talk about my manuscript. Sorry for the impersonation. Uh,
No, it's a good impersonation.
Thanks. Uh, and the other thing was, and this is really later in '98 when the documentary Back to the Planet of the Apes came out. Roddy McDowall was doing a lot of publicity for it, and I had an interview with him when that was coming out, and it was about an hour on the phone, and he was just so enthusiastic, just reflecting on everything and giving me really good answers on any questions I had on the films. But what blew me away was the fact is literally a week later, he died of cancer. And the fact that this man spent an hour on the phone talking to me about Planet of the Apes and had that passion still going, that to me is one of the most touching moments of the entire thing. Because here's a man who lived film, he loved film, and to his dying breath almost, he was talking about film, promoting film. And especially he loved Planet of the Apes. So to have that conversation with him, I'm not saying that I'm the only one, but the fact is it was that close to his death. And I couldn't believe how, like, I remember getting off the phone with him and just thinking to myself, God, that was great. This man really loves Planet of the Apes. And so those may not sound like big moments to people, but for me personally, those were two real highlights just because Heston was Heston and he's calling me out of the blue. And Roddy's passion for the whole thing just fueled my own again, around that time. So,
Yeah, I mean, I would have the exact same reaction if Charlton Heston called me out of the blue.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's just, and like I said, it was nothing new talking to people, celebrities and stuff. I've been doing it at that point for like 10, 15 years, but it didn't matter. It's like, this is, again, you're tapping into childhood passions, right? So this is Planet of the Apes. Doesn't matter what else I've written about. Planet of the Apes is Planet of the Apes. And I have the star of that calling me up. It's just amazing. So.